oral question. Baroness Hayter of Kentish Town.
I beg leave to ask the question standing in my name on the order paper.
The government wants to ensure that everyone can fully participate in society, including sport. We equally want to ensure that everyone can participate in a way that ensures they feel safe. DCMS has discussed the ruling with Sport England and UK Sport, and they've confirmed they're considering the implications for their guidance. As my noble friend will be aware, national governing bodies set their own policies for who can participate in domestic competitions.
I thank my noble friend for that answer. She knows the Sport England was set up by Royal Charter. It's in receipt of public and lottery money, and indeed has a board appointed by the Secretary of State, but still seems to be taking its time in considering the ruling, despite that very clearly saying that where the Equality Act allows for single-sex competitions or anything else, that should be on the basis of biological fact. And as Sport England acknowledges, because it affects fairness and safety, there are the retained differences in strength, stamina and physique between born men and women. I mean, sorry, I thought somebody was asking. Because of those retained differences, it will be important that all sports put aside for women should have biological women there. So could she encourage perhaps Sport England to move with a little more speed, because I know a lot of the bodies are awaiting for their advice on this.
So it's for each sports national governing body to set their own policies for who can participate in domestic competitions. They're supported to do this through guidance developed by our Sports Council, who are considering the implications of the Supreme Court ruling. The Sports Council Equality Group Transgender Inclusion Guidance was jointly produced by our 5 home sports councils. Following the Supreme Court ruling, they've said that they're consulting with legal experts to properly understand the implications for their guidance.
My Lords.
Supreme Court's not difficult to understand.
Sorry. Oh, do it. Go. My Lords, my apologies. I wasn't sure if that was a question or not. Diddy, I couldn't hear.
I said the judgment of the Supreme Court is not difficult to understand, is it?
Here.
Apologies, I didn't hear the end of the sentence that had a question in it. So the ruling clarifies the position under the Equality Act. It does align with what the government's always said about single-sex spaces. There has been interim guidance from EHRC, and they are launching a 6-week consultation on their draft updated statute code of practice for services, public functions and associations tomorrow. I'd encourage all noble lords to take part if they have views they would like to feed in.
My Lords, apologies, I didn't hear you. My Lords, the Minister will be aware that Sport England are committed to ensuring LGBT people give as many opportunities and as much support to get active as others, as you've confirmed. But I'm slightly confused by the initial snapshot provided by the EHRC, and I wonder if you could help me clarify. It suggests that trans men can neither use the men's changing rooms nor the women's changing rooms. So I'm just wondering about how a trans man might be encouraged to get involved in sport on that basis. Thank you.
Well, we're really keen to make sure, as I know the noble lady is, that all people, including trans people, can take part in sports. As I have said previously, it is for sports bodies themselves to determine the specific policies, but this will be done in line with guidance that is coming out in due course on top of the interim guidance from the EHRC, and they are going to be launching a 6-week consultation tomorrow. I'm hopeful that this will resolve some of the issues that have been raised in relation to the interim guidance, and clearly we've got ongoing discussions with every relevant body to ensure that the law is applied, but that this is done in a humane and just and fair way.
Lib Dems.
I was going to give way to the noble gentleman, but His Majesty's government has spoken about the clarity that the Supreme Court judgment has brought to these discussions. I'm slightly confused, however, about the snapshot provided by EHRC, which we've just been discussing, and the impact that it has on grassroots sport. Does the Minister understand the instruction that if 26 men come together to play football, a trans man can't play? But if 24 men come together, a trans man can play? And if she does understand it, would she explain it to me, please?
This is exactly the type of question which would lead me to say, please, could everyone with a view on this matter take part in the consultation which the EHRC is launching tomorrow? There is no intention for trans men or women to be excluded from sport, and it will be for sports bodies themselves to consider how this can best be achieved once the guidance has come out, and clearly it is important that single-sex spaces are provided, but that we allow for respectful debate and to resolve these issues that the noble lady has rightfully raised.
My Lords, my Lords, my Lords.
Conservative.
My Lords, I rise with a significant conflict that I must declare as a Commissioner of the EHRC to invite the noble lady, the Minister, to clarify that it is not interim guidance that has been issued by the EHRC, as she said, but an interim update on the position, and that the consultation will open tonight or first thing tomorrow morning in order to conduct the consultation, in order to draft the guidance. It would be very helpful if the noble lady, the Minister, could clarify this to allay the confusion both in this chamber and in the press. Thank you.
I'm happy to confirm that is the position, and apologise if I misled people on that count.
My Lords, as my noble friend has just said, and as the noble lady has just said, the guidance at the moment has no legal standing whatsoever. As my noble friend the Minister will be aware, the Equality Act 2010 has always allowed trans people to be excluded from sport, and the Supreme Court judgment has not changed that. However, does my noble friend the Minister feel that it is a proportionate means of achieving a legitimate aim to exclude trans people from, for example, chess, angling and orienteering?
This is an important point, and I'm sure something the EHRC will consider as part of their upcoming consultation that I'm sure my noble friend and others will engage with. It will be for event organisers such as the English Chess Federation to consider the implications of the ruling and the EHRC guidance when this is published.
My Lords, there are many inclusive grassroots sports groups across the country, open, for instance, to women and trans women, which play a vital and cherished role in supporting people's social networks, their mental health and their physical well-being. One of the confusions caused by this Supreme Court ruling and the EHRC's interim update is that if these groups want to continue being inclusive, they'll have to open to men as well. Does the Minister think it might be possible to find a way for grassroots groups to continue to meet on whatever basis they and their members want, so that people can play the sports they enjoy without undue interference from the state?
The noble lord is entirely correct that there are some really positive examples of inclusivity in this space. It is for sports bodies to determine the specific policies for all levels of their sports, recognising the need to protect fairness and safety alongside ensuring everyone has the opportunity to participate. The EHRC, as I've already mentioned, will be launching a consultation on their revised code of practice shortly.
My Lords.
Women in sport, my Lords. Women in sport found in 2022 that more than 4 in 10 girls who took part in sport in primary school disengaged from sport as teenagers. It is believed that one factor is having male-bodied competitors against them. Some deterred for reasons of safety and fairness, others maybe for religious reasons. Once the Government has secured respect for the Supreme Court ruling in sport, as I hope they will, how will it encourage women and girls to participate in sport again?
I think it's really important that we don't tangle up different issues. We want everyone to be able to participate in sport in a way that ensures they feel safe. One of the ways we can do this is by ensuring that young women feel confident about their bodies, which is something that I think a lot of young women don't feel confident about their bodies anyway when they're teenagers. I'm really keen that we don't tangle up different issues. I'm happy to talk to the Noble Lady about this at greater length, should she wish.
My Lords, that concludes oral questions for today. We now come